Well, Donald Trump getting ready for another high-profile meeting tomorrow. He will sit down with the former Secretary of State, Henry Kissinger, a top advisor to Presidents Nixon and Ford. Senior national correspondent John Roberts is live outside Trump Tower in New York City with more. John.
John, good afternoon to you. Of course, Mr. Trump famously met with former Secretary of State James Baker last week when he was in Washington, and it happened the afternoon after Secretary of State Baker was highly critical in his Senate committee meeting of Donald Trump's foreign policy. So Donald Trump meeting with Henry Kissinger tomorrow. They're not giving out a lot of details. We don't know if it'll be here at Trump Tower or somewhere else. Secretary Kissinger is turning 93 a week from Friday, and apparently his movements are somewhat limited, but moving Donald Trump may be more difficult than moving Henry Kissinger with all of the Secret Service considerations, so it may be that they're meeting here at Trump Tower. Of course, as you mentioned, he was Secretary of State to President Nixon and Ford, but he has also met with a lot of candidates for president, in fact, and vice president. Famously, in 2008, he had a meeting with Sarah Palin. So Donald Trump just looking to bolster his foreign policy credentials and show people that he is thinking seriously about all of this. At the same time as all of this is happening, though, John, Donald Trump facing another barrage of attacks over things that he has said about women in the past. Priorities USA, a super PAC supporting Hillary Clinton, launching a $6 million ad buy in the battleground states of Virginia, Ohio, Florida, and Nevada, basically having people mouth Trump's own words. Here's a section from it.
No. Does she have a fat ass? Absolutely. You like girls that are 5'1", they come up to you know where.
And of course, Donald Trump didn't take too kindly to that, taking to Twitter today to say, quote, amazing that crooked Hillary can do a hit ad on me concerning women when her husband was the worst abuser of women in U.S. political history. Every time that Hillary Clinton's campaign or a super PAC supporting her brings out an attack ad, this is the way Donald Trump hits back. And Donald Trump making another concession to running a general election campaign as opposed to a primary campaign, hiring a well-known pollster, Tony Fabrizio, was one of his top strategists. Fabrizio was Rick Scott's pollster back in 2010. He's also worked for the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, Rand Paul, and Bob Dole in 1996. Very much an establishment figure, even though he did work for Paul. So Donald Trump quickly learning that when you're moving from the nominating part of the campaign to the general election presidential part, you got to bring in as many big guns as you can possibly have, even if they have the establishment label sewn into their underwear. John?
That's a good line. I might use that one of these days. John Roberts, thank you.